Hi guys, and welcome back to askNK. Today we're going to be talking about some very free featured marketplace content that you can get if you're making use of Unreal. This was brought to my attention by a subscriber. It says, since you do free Friday stuff, why not also talk about Unreal free stuff? And that is why I'll be doing this. And I think since this is also something that I found out that they do every month, most probably I will be doing this every month, in conjunction with the free Friday and other free stuff that we get to talk about. So for the month of June, there's a couple of things that have been released for the free market. So if you're making use of Unreal, there are certain things that you can now get for free. One of the first ones is the advanced mission and notification system. So if you're into creating things like AI stuff where you can set missions and set sequences of how these missions would go, yes, of course, there is a blueprint plug that you can get directly at the marketplace, and you can use them to automate how you create your games. And it comes with a couple of features actually, and I'll put the link there so you can go ahead and find these things out for yourself. The next one which we're going to talk about is the one called Brushify. It is actually an environment shader pack, and not so long ago we talked about a tool made possible by the guys at Quad Spinner, which is the Gaia terrain. And Gaia terrain, you can use it to generate terrain, and at the same time you also be able to get textures and all those things. But the thing with this other tool, the tool which we're talking about, is it is more of an automated landscape material creator. So you can use this to actually assign things like snow shading to your terrain. You can still go ahead and assign things like moss and also wind and erosion and all that amazing stuff. Depending on what you want to do in Unreal, this is an amazing tool that I would really suggest, that you can go ahead and pick. And it contains near mesh shader that covers functionality which you can easily use to create those things that I just mentioned earlier. So, but one of the other ones that makes a lot of sense to me is the path follow, and this is made possible by Cooper. All right, so a path follow is more like like when you try to animate things to follow a path, then this tool is a tool for you. If you don't really know how to do these things, then you might just come over to the Unreal, Unreal marketplace and get this, and you can use it to actually create things like walkthrough, especially if you're doing things like architectural visualization, or maybe you're just doing a simple walkthrough, or you just want to show people around your scene. Yes, of course, this is something that you can use. Reactive Water is another one that is super cool. Has a whole lot of things that you can do with it. If you're creating things like, let's say water or something like that, with this tool, which is actually driven by Blueprint, what happens is you would be able to create things like small waves, foams, and a couple of other things directly in your scene. So if you throw things like brick, or let's say you're throwing things like characters walking around that particular object, it kind of creates this idea of a simulation of water happening directly in your scene. Steam props is another one that has also made its way, and a lot of guys are actually going towards that idea of creating steampunk driven props and all that. This is one of those tools that you would be able to use to create and actually style your scene, especially if you want to throw in a couple of things that has to do with compass, gear, blinds, gauge, vacuum tubes, and all that amazing stuff. Of course, you can come through, open up your Unreal file. By the way, Unreal is free, just in case you have no idea about that, and you can get this and use it. Next up is one that actually puts a lot of joy in my soul, and that one is a 4K material that is available, and it is actually under a category called new permanently free content. So how we do every free Friday, and we talk about how you can get textures for free, how you can get some materials, how you can get some models, some alphas, all those amazing free stuff. And if you don't know, link is also going to be in the description, so you can find amazing free content on this page or on this channel that you can use for your production. So there is now 4K flooding wood materials that you can now use for your Unreal project. And I guess there's going to be a way, somehow you can extract these 4K textures and use them somewhere else. If you're looking for more textures, I already talked about that earlier. And Yes, the big things with this one that is coming is you'll be able to have access to 25 materials with unlimited variations. That's number one. Makes a lot of sense. Number two, they are photorealistic PBR materials, which simply means you don't need to spend so much time trying to tweak them to balance in your game. And since they are all 4K, it also makes sense that they are not just one kind of material. So it comes in 5 different types of wood-like materials, and one of them is the European oak. There is also a bamboo, there's a beech, there's walnut as well. It also has 5 patterns which you can go ahead and choose from. Just go through the link and you'll be able to find this cool stuff. There are also some novelties that I would also like to say. There is an IAS lighting profile pack which you can use. It is still under the category known as new permanently free content, and there is also another one which is the Modular Sci-Fi starter pack. So if you're into creating sci-fi stuff, or let's say you're into creating things that has to do with a couple of interior props that look sci-fi-ish, all right, there may be things like that, I would really suggest that you go in here, you get these things, and you can use them. To me, I think Unreal is one of the best gaming engines out there. And we all know how breathtaking its realistic rendering gets to do. And not long ago, we talked about VRAY, incorporating themselves into Unreal. We've also heard about, Unreal being so flexible enough that you can now move your things from different apps directly into Unreal, do your animations inside there, and do all of your props design and all that amazing thing. Blueprint is also a very huge thing that has been in Unreal, and I cannot wait to actually see it being implemented in the new Twinmotion that has been bought. And speaking about Twinmotion, if you're trying to get into architectural rendering and architectural designs, probably you have this amazing design you want to work with, there is a link in the description. You can find out how you can render with Twinmotion, and I'm very excited about the updates that will be coming to Twinmotion real soon. Now they have been bought by Epic Games, the guys that own Unreal. And it's also safe to say that these are not the only free contents that you can get from Unreal. There's actually a section where you can find free stuff that you can use for your project. So in case you're into creating things like textures, you need some props, you need some assets that you can throw into your game engine, or you can throw into the scene which you're working with, then of course, link is also going to be in the description where you can find these things and you can, use them for yourself. And there are also things that you can get for very, minimal amount, and you can go ahead, play with these things and use them. And like I've always said, if you want to get into things like gaming or virtual reality, augmented reality, and you need a powerful game engine that can actually pull this thing off, of course there's Unity and of course there's Godot, but then Unreal still seems to stand out of the crowd. Alright, so you can go over to Epic Games and get a free copy of this, and you can start learning that today and, perfect all those things. There's a huge learning channel on the website there which you can also use to learn this amazing thing. Now I would like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Would you like to see more of this free stuff coming over to you at the end of every month or at the beginning of every month? And would you guys love me to cover more game stuffs on this channel? I would like to know what you guys think about this. And if you're new to knowing what Free Friday is, link is going to be in the description. If you're new to knowing all the news about Unreal, link is also going to be in the channel so you can find these things out for yourselves. And tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button and also turn on notification. And if you're new here, it's going to be amazing if you can hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video, the next episode. And until I see you guys again with the tutorial update, Free Friday, tips and tricks, things like this. Peace.